Greetings folks, welcome back to my little corner of the library. Nestled in eastern Duchess County in upstate New York near the Connecticut border lies the small town of Dover Plains. A town of about 9,000 people, in its heyday of the late early 1900s, Dover Plains was a mining and farming community. But unlike other similar small towns, Dover Plains has one claim to fame that others just don't, which made it a popular tourist destination for Gilded Age travelers. Now, my name's Dan. You're watching Hometown History, and today we're visiting the Dover Plains Stone Church. Now, the stone church itself is a unique geological feature located about 3/4 of a mile west of town. Now, the trail to it starts just off Route 22, the main thoroughfare through Dover Plains, and overall is a fairly mild hike, although you're going to want to bring good walking shoes as the trail can get kind of slippery. The walk to the church starts with a nice straight path through a manicured lawn and a walkway lined with maple trees. It'll then continue up Stone Church Creek and terminate in a steep, small canyon where you'll recognize the stone church when you see it. As you pass through the entrance of the Stone Church cave, the reason for the name Stone Church becomes very clear. There's definitely a sort of sublime atmosphere, a feeling of awe, just standing in this small little cave, especially if you're able to make it up there in the morning, because the sun comes in from the east and reflects off all the water of the creek bed running through it, and just makes the whole cave light up and shimmer and dance. At the back of the cave, near where the waterfall is, there's even a large monolith, which just absolutely looks perfect, and as a result has been dubbed the Pulpit Rock. The waterfall itself, just behind the Pulpit Rock, is about 30 feet, although you can really only see a few of those feet, maybe about 5 or 6, from the entrance to the cave. A local legend tells of the stone church serving as a hiding place for Pequot sachem Sassacus. Now, the Pequot were a Native American tribe that inhabited much of what's present-day Connecticut, but the Pequot came into armed conflict with a coalition of British and Mohegans during the Pequot War in 1636. And following the Mystic Massacre, there weren't really a whole lot of Pequot left. The few survivors who remained fled with Sassacus, hoping to find refuge in New York. While there's no evidence to prove that Sassacus and the Pequot actually took refuge inside the stone church, the story is popular in the local community, and it's not unreasonable to assume that Sassacus would have passed through that way from Connecticut on his way into New York. Now, sometime around 1847, famous Hudson River School artist Asher B. Durand would swing by the stone church and make a nice little pencil sketch of it in one of his notebooks. The notebook is currently held by the New York Historical Society, so I'll provide a link to the sketch in the description down below. Also, later in the century, around 1876, famous 19th century historian Benson Lossing would actually author an 18-page book on the history of the stone church. In the late 19th century, the New York Central Railroad's Harlem Line would reach Dover Plains, connecting the small town to the metropolis of New York City and making the stone church a popular tourist destination. Recently, the Dover Stone Church Preserve would add about 50 acres to their holdings, bringing their total up to 170, with plans to build hiking trails and scenic overlooks, making the area much more accessible to tourists and hikers. You can still reach Dover Plains by rail by taking Metro North out of Grand Central. It's a little bit of a convoluted rail trip to get there, but it is absolutely worth it. It's a great spot. It's a really fun and spectacular trip. It doesn't take too long, it's not too far out of the way, and it's really something that's worth seeing. I would highly recommend going. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. You can find us, our website, our blog, with more odd and unusual and interesting stories over at bookwormhistory.com. You can also connect with us on social media at facebook.com/bookwormhistory, and you can always follow us on Twitter at bookwormhistory. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for stopping by.